welcome to Young Kizzy, the one YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red subscribe button down below and turn on the bell icon. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section.
Good evening, fellow Zambian citizens. So today I am back to more information about Bill 7. As you are aware, we are drawing closer to when Bill 7 will be tabled before Parliament. Now, as I speak to you, remember in the last couple of weeks, I have been speaking to the contents of Bill 7, which contents I've been saying are against our democratic tenets. Okay, because this country is founded on democracy, and so anything that takes away from our democracy must never be allowed to sit, amongst us. Now, the last time I spoke to you, I spoke to the process, how these by UPND are committing illegalities in trying to push the agenda of Bill 7. Interestingly, today, this matter has taken a new twist. As we speak today, members of parliament, those who have already received, have actually been summoned to go to court to attend contempt of court proceedings. To challenge parliament. Unfortunately, the court has granted leave for some individuals to commence contempt of court proceedings. Means over if once by MP malotukalaya ku court. The speaker has been given a summon, the deputy speaker, the clerk, bonse na batupela ma summons tukalaya ku court because we have actually acted in contempt of the court. Now, this is where you as citizens must really pay attention. Before we can even talk to the ingredients of Bill 7, if you are Lubana Bill 7, we must look at the process. Many have argued before that, you see, the process of amending the Constitution is as important as the contents, what is being amended. They actually say by Lawyer Kutila, the content protects, rather the process protects the content. You do remember that even when Bill 10 failed, here by PF, PF actually even followed the law. If you remember, Bill 10 started from a meeting that political parties had in Siavonga, and then it culminated into an act of parliament which was called the National Dialogue Forum Act. Okay, so Bill 10 was actually founded on a law. So it was agreed we are going to do this bill using this law. Ababa nesubena tabakonkerepo nefunde ilidionse. Remember how Bill 7, or rather Bill 7 started. Abe nebalo telefio kweba wala chinje chine mu constitution bapangana draft. That is why Munia Zulu and Celestine went to court to challenge that temuchinje constitution ukwabula abantu kuba involved. And when the court ruled, I want you, this is where you must start understanding. Before we even look at the contents, Bill 7, we look at foundation. The biggest problem was the starting point. Baambire bapanga ma clauses bapanga draft bill without going to the people. That is why when this matter went to court, the Constitutional Court ruled explicitly that tamwako nkele ifunde, to amend the Constitution. The spirit of the Constitutional amendment is that you must go to the people must be involved in the process of amending the Constitution. Now, the implication is that when anything is illegal, when a process is illegal, the result of that process is illegal. Lord Denham, now, about Chimuntu Chasambira Sana, in many years ago, had ruled that any process that is, illegal produces illegal results. Whatever is produced by an illegal process is a nullity. Okay? In fact, Lord Denham had put it saying that you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. It therefore means that if you initiate a process like my UPND started of the Bill 7, without following the law, whatever was produced, that draft Bill 7 is a nullity. It's illegal, and that is what the Constitutional Court ruled. Now, when this ruling was made by the Constitutional Court, UPND babakwati baumfwa, and that is how the President constituted the technical committee. And that technical committee, we are all aware, went around to collect your views. And the work of the technical committee, remember, the technical committee acts like an advisory body. It's an advisor to the executive. Its work starts from the terms of reference, and then you are supposed to produce a report which is supposed to be submitted to the president. Then the president takes that report to the ministry, or rather to cabinet. Cabinet then passes it over to the Minister of Justice to create a bill or to draft a bill, which bill is now supposed to be taken to Parliament for us to commence sittings to amend the Constitution. Now, you are aware, like I said last time, ababa UPND bali pango, ama shortcuts. Bali folk pango ama shortcuts because they realized they didn't have time. Because that report that was produced by the technical committee, president by cabinet, it needed to be produced into a draft bill, which must have been published in a gazette notice for 30 days. Now, that is the time the UPND did not have. That is why they decided to do a shortcut. Vaya bula, ida bill 7 year deferred. Vaya ibwesha mu parliament. That is why, if you remember very well, when we were complaining about the decision to defer Bill 7, we were saying, ababantu, bali ba deceptive, bali changelesha. If you bachita defer, if you bachitile na pali cyber law, kwa abantu after bali lana, they deferred the cyber law only to bring the cyber law in its entire form before it was deferred. This is what has happened even now, where they pick the same Bill 7 that was deferred baibwesha mparlamenti bapangana committee yambo kuikala. Now, do you know what that means? The committee has started sitting, interrogating the bill that was declared illegal by the Constitutional Court. So what the UPND have done, what the speaker and his team or our team have done, is to, ukususha court. They've actually acted in contempt of the court ruling. That is why today we have been summoned by the court to go and appear to start contempt proceedings. Celestine and Munia Zulu have gone back to court to ask that we be arrested or jailed for acting in contempt, because we are sitting to interrogate a bill that was declared illegal by the courts after the court had ruled. Now, there are some people who say, no, you can't challenge the work of Parliament. The Parliament is basing on what is called the doctrine of exclusive cognizance. Now, this doctrine does not cover breaches of the Constitution. Mwema lawyers, mwema lesambirira, mufiro kuishibefyo. That is why fweba kata kotuma diploma, ture ibikirisha po ture sambira, ture tola tolo tufinpa ture ishiva what we are speaking to. So, bane, this issue of Bill 7 has taken another twist, because tomorrow we are being summoned to go and appear before the courts for contempt proceedings. Now, I'll tell you the bigger implication of what is going to happen by you painting about partition, because you know what Amaka does. When you have power, you can do anything. You remember a PA fine. They were told the ministers can't stay in office. They stayed in office and they were protected by the powers that be. When the court ruled that they were outside the law, they were made to pay chilamuntu paluakwe. Here is what is going to happen, sometimes even later in future, because today the UPND may act like they are powerful and continue with the same illegal Bill 7. Because those of you who watched the proceedings of that committee at Parliament, The technical committee went to submit to the committee at Parliament. Lelo. Okay, ba UPND kutontonga yata kwa Afrika po. The work of the technical committee is advisory to the executive. Inchito yaba technical committee ipwira palapenenga baya pela idia report. Nishapwe mwili ashibena bafumamo. Interestingly, because of doing illegal things, the committee today went to submit to the committee of Parliament. But technical committee, because the process of amending the constitution starts from the technical committee. Vapanga a draft or a report. Iria report eisamukuba drafted into a bill. But lelo, if ishatala chitikapo muchalo chino, in regards to constitution amendment, the technical committee was going to submit to the committee of Parliament. Ichishatala chitikapo is what they are trying to do, just so that they can suit their agenda. Now, I'll tell you what will happen. We may proceed because the UPND are enjoying power today. We may proceed with that same illegal Bill 7. And remember, an illegal process produces illegal results. Everything that is going to be produced by Bill 7 may have consequences. Peradventure, ubuteko bwachinja kuntanji. Imagine the constituencies that are going to be created. They will be illegal, procedurally, and by law. The MPs that are going to be voted in those constituencies and those who are going to be brought into Parliament by way of proportional representation, they are all going to go to Parliament illegally. And when that time comes, Chiramuntu akaba palwakwe. It therefore means even the MPs that are going to participate in this process, even in voting, may in future pay dearly the consequences of participating in an illegality. Which is why na mukuvota njaka yeko, because I don't want tomorrow to be caught in an illegality. If you fear the muchalo mulebukisha yaba minister. And today people may act like they are superhuman beings because they are enjoying power. The consequences will be felt or will be meted sometimes later. So I just thought I needed to give you a twist to this story today. The court today has entertained the application for the commencement of proceedings for contempt, meaning that paliabe the court abena Celestina nati no naba tususha ba parliament naba mbokula ikala pakulolesha pali bill 7 ili imumwe ba court mwala njokwe bati it is illegal, it is not properly done. Now, I know I spoke to the contents of Bill 7, explaining the evils and the dangers. I will continue tomorrow up to Sunday to speak to one by one, so that after explaining how bad, how wrong this process is, I also now need to go back to explaining to you what is contained in that bill that is very inimical to our democracy. Colleagues, why I am doing this, fellow citizen, is so that as you are discussing this thing, muchite understand shi ubudi mulichi bill 7. Ababa nesu, bali yangala no umulilo yu ukabocha. Na likwebele taibuluapo. Okay? I told you does not remain, and that is why for me, I have not been shy to remind the UPN that if imulechita fikamile telela, here we are, tomorrow we are going to court. Takuli ati yo, abashaka yuku court luabo. Let them manipulate the courts. What if the court says or wants to exercise their powers also? Mukamune fikachitika. I told you, does not mean. To be foretold is to be forewarned. I remain Binwa Mpundu. God bless you.
Oh my goodness.